my name is Karis. Thank you for joining me in today's class. We're going to be focusing on a slightly more traditional mat flow. We're going to be revisiting some of the original 34 exercises from Joseph Pilates, with a few slight variations of them. As we're going through the class, if any moves don't feel good in your body, please feel free to sub them out for something earlier or modify however you need. We're going to be starting off from Joe's original order with 100. So we're going to start off laying on our backs, squeezing your legs towards each other. And then just before we move, I'm going to get you to reach your arms to the ceiling and then really try and bring your attention to your neck. I want you to try and reach the back of your neck long, like your head is sliding up the mat. We're then going to keep bringing our attention to our ribs. So your rib cage, I want you to draw the bottom ribs so they're heavy into the floor. Then I'm going to get you to bring your lower back so your waistband feels like it's drawing into the mat. Feels like your waistband is pulling into the basement. Can you keep the back of your neck long and take a deep breath in? Now can you curl from your ribs and curl through your head and chest, reaching the arms long. Now in this position, if you feel like your neck is doing it all, head back down there and focus on that lengthening of the back of the neck, and then trying to really initiate the moves from the upper abs to curl you up deeper. If you're feeling good there, keep pulling the waistband into the floor. Option to leave the legs down, or for more challenge, bring them in towards your body. With them into your body, can you see if you can curl up closer to your thighs? I'm looking into my belly button. And again, you keep the legs here, or for more challenge, send them long again. We start to pump the arms for the 100. We breathe in. Breathing out. And as I'm moving here, I really want today us to be thinking about the connection through our legs so we can start to build in our practice. So as you're doing this, your heels are squeezing together. You want to try and imagine there is a tennis ball or a fist between your toes. Your toes don't move any further apart, but it's like your knees want to spiral to the sides of the room. As I'm pumping my arms, every exhale, I want to see if I can make a deeper curl through my chest by making lots of wrinkles in the front of my t-shirt. And it's like my legs wanting to pull into my body. I don't care about how low my legs are at the moment. And as I'm moving, I want to really keep this feeling of me coming to my thighs. We're going to go for another 2 sets here. Last set. And hold. Bend the knees in. Then use the back of your arms on the back of your legs to rock yourself up. We're going to straighten the legs away from us. Flex the feet. Think all 10 toes to you and the ball of your foot. Can you press your heels forwards? Draw the back of your legs into the floor. Imagine your mat is hot. Bring your hands behind your head. And then keeping this feeling of your mat being hot, you're being pulled up, we go into our spine twist where we twist towards the left-hand side of the room. Now, as you're twisting towards the left, keep thinking your mat is hot, you are drawing yourself up. You twist back to the center and twist towards the right. Now, I'd like you to see if you can soften your ribs into the back of your t-shirt and draw your head a little bit further back into your hands. You're going to keep going like this, and you'll probably start to notice you start to lose your legs. So your feet want to start to flop. Can you keep them active? You will probably feel this is super uncomfortable in the front of your thighs, in your hips, maybe even in the muscles down your back. Probably similar to me, your thighs just feel like they're screaming at you. They might not. You're probably stronger than I am. But as you're doing this, think about the back of the legs drawing down into the floor. And this is so good to keep the front of your legs starting to strengthen for all that work we're going to need to do later. Now we bring it back into the center. You're going to hold. Arms are going to reach forwards, and we're going to go in towards a spine stretch. So imagine your back is against a wall, and you're going to drop your eye line to look at your thighs. Keep pressing the back of your legs down. Then keep this feeling of your eyes looking at your knees, but your ribs inflating up into the back of your t-shirt. How long can you make your spine? Then can you start to spine stretch forwards so you're coming towards your thighs, but you're keeping space between your belly and your legs. Your arms are reaching sort of in line with your ears, and your hands don't go past your toes. It's like a glass wall is against your feet, and you want to try and avoid stretching further than that. Keep this. Can you see if you can draw your ribs a little bit further up that wall behind you? Think about inflating your ribs to the back of your top, and then start to scoop back up so you start to grow tall again. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, allow the gaze to drop. Feel your ribs draw up that wall. You want to feel that softening of the ribs into the back of your top, that length through your spine. You're going up and over. Your shoulders will have rounded slightly forwards, but you want to think of them draping. Then you keep that sensation of height. You start to scoop up through your spine. One last time. If you think this is easy, are you still thinking about your feet? Are you still thinking about your legs? And as you go up and over, are you still creating height as you go forwards? If you're still finding it easy, the answer to one of those is probably no. And then you're going to come back up. Then we're going to go into our roll down. So we let our eyes drop. We come forwards, up and over into that spine stretch, and you hold it there. Now, I'd like you to keep this feeling of your upper body growing taller, not just forwards. Can you start to then scoop your waist down to the mat behind you? Whilst you're starting to scoop the pelvis under, really keep this feeling of your bum reaching to your heels. As you start to come up, your eyes lift, your head sits on top of your spine. And I want you to be really honest with yourself here about how low you can go, where you feel you could actually come back up. So I'm going to stop there for the first one. Now you can see I'm shaking. My rib cage is going to soften into the back of my t-shirt. I want to think I'm going up as well as over. So I'm thinking grow taller, grow taller, grow taller. Come forwards into that spine stretch. Then again, keep that height, scooping the pelvis under. And as I start to unravel, my head comes with me. And I'm going to see if I can maybe go a little bit lower with this one. So keep the heels reaching forwards, keep scooping down. And then at the bottom, maybe you've gone all the way. Now your neck goes longer first. Bottom of the ribs soften into the mat. You want to feel like your ribs are inflating behind you as you curl up, and you want to feel like you're growing taller as you come back over. And such a simple move, if we're doing it right, really shouldn't be easy. Can you keep thinking, feet pull forwards? Now your feet will drag slightly down the mat, but they shouldn't be sliding all the way up and down. You are really trying to think, if they were against a wall, could you try and stay as close to the wall as you can? Feel your pelvis scoop into the floor. You're going to go up, squeezing through the legs, up and over. Then bring yourself back up. We're then going to bring ourselves down onto our sides. This is where I'm changing the order a little bit. Bottom arm reaches away from us, and our body's near the back of the mat. Bottom leg comes to the front of the mat. Top leg comes to the front of the mat. I want you to really check that you're aligned at the back. Then we're going to float the top leg up. Bottom leg, can you flex it as much as you can? And I'd like your eyes looking forwards, not down. Your top leg, can you sweep it behind you? Can you hold it there? Now, as that leg is sweeping behind you, can you reach longer through your leg? Like I'm in the room and I've pulled your leg off. Makes me think of like a Barbie leg. Now, can you see whether you could let that leg reach even further away and maybe even slightly further back? Top hand's going to come onto the floor sort of in line with your belly button. And a really amazing mentor of mine said a cue that worked so well in my brain, which is imagine your leg is starting from under your rib. Obviously anatomically incorrect. But can you keep this feeling of how far can the leg go behind you before your ribs come into the front of your t-shirt? Your bottom leg should be heavy, and your leg, as you're reaching it back, is trying to go longer. Then we sweep that leg forwards. As it comes forwards, keep that knee looking in front of you, not down. Sweep the leg behind you, think long, reaching, and that leg is starting from under the rib. Then we sweep it forward. Now, like me, if you're able to reach a table or something around you, you might need to go up or down slightly so it's not in your way. but you're reaching even longer through that foot. That's a really good prop actually, so you can see as I'm kicking my leg back, I don't need to look at my foot to know where it's going. I want to try and keep it at the same height, so I'm reaching long, and it's literally like I'm trying to clear off that coffee table. Last one, reaching that leg, reaching taller through the foot. As that leg goes behind, can you keep pushing into that bottom leg? Can you keep reaching longer through that top leg? Now, can you sweep forwards, up, around, and reach back to where you started? Forwards, up, around, and reach. Again, you're thinking of that leg starting from under the rib. You will get a bit of an arch in the back, that's okay. Reverse directions. And reach. I want us to open through that hip and go longer. Last one. And reach. And relax that leg down. When you're ready, bring yourself up into a Z shape. We're going to go for a little mermaid stretch over. So if you can't sit like this, sit however you need to. But if you can, hold your shin and reach long through the arm. Pull against that leg, stretching up and over, and then bring yourself back up. Then swing your legs to the other side. And again, you're lined up with the back of your mat. And then from here, I might need to come a little bit further forwards, otherwise I'm actually going to kick all the glasses over. So from here, you're laying on that bottom side, you're looking forwards, thinking, can your bottom foot be flexed and pressing into the floor, top hand just resting? We sweep this top leg behind us. You're thinking, can that leg start from under our rib? We're pushing into the floor. And then can you sweep that leg forwards? Keep that knee pointing parallel, not down. Now, every time we're going longer through the leg, I'd like you to think about, it's almost like you're reaching so far away that it's creating this sense of lift under your waist. Try not to just hoik your ribs up, okay? Because that's just you then using your back to do that. I want you to keep almost like your leg is so long that you can't control what your waist is doing. And then you're going to feel some sort of connection a little bit more into the powerhouse as you move. Now you're ideally looking forwards. It's so tempting to look down. That's the thing in class that I correct the most, everyone's heads. So you are going to stare at something in front of you. Doesn't have to be me. Good, keep going. I lost track of how many we did on the other side, I won't lie. So I think we've got about 2 more. But keep that leg reaching behind. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I reckon you've got way more range than you think you have. Can you straighten that top knee? And then last one. Kicking that leg behind you. Imagine I'm in the room. Could you go back a little bit further? And then you're going to kick forwards, up, around, and back. Forwards, up, around, and back. Last one, and reverse. As you're moving, you keep really kind of opening through the sides of your chest, and your top shoulder is heavy. Now hold it near the back, keep reaching, and relax. Bring yourself down to lay on your front. Okay, as I'm laying on my front here, I'm going to place my tip of my nose on the floor, and I'm going to bring my arms into a W shape. I'd love if your legs can be together. Don't worry if they can't. And you're on the tip of your nose. So from here, I want us to then just hover the tip of our nose off the mat. Nothing else has moved. I've got the same weight in my arms and my chest right now. I'm going to straighten my legs so far away and press down into the front of my feet that my knees feel like they levitate slightly from the floor. I'm going to then try and shine my nose slightly forwards, but not my chin. Now in this position, I'd like you to then try and see if you could think about not coming up, but staying long and low, like I've grabbed the front of your top or your necklace, and I'm pulling you forwards so I can see your first 2 ribs. Keep this, keep showing me your nose, and we go into our swan prep. So you're going to just float your arms up, float your arms down. Float your arms up, float your arms down. Now, as you're moving, you are trying to stay long and low, reaching from your waist rather than from your ribs. So your ribs shouldn't be pressing heavily, like to the point where they're hurting into the floor. If they are, you know you've probably gone into a bit of a back bend. You're wanting to keep this feeling of the top of your head reaching forwards, your feet reaching away, and probably the back of your legs are working quite hard now. And you can maybe feel your upper back working, but you might not. Now bring those arms up into that hover. Give me a hold. Can you then lift your head all the way up? Can you then maybe come up just 1 inch longer? Keep thinking about reaching from your waist. Can you reach the arms forwards? Can you tap one arm down, other arm down? Think of your shoulders like little CDs, and you're trying to move your arm from those CDs or those discs. You keep moving. Keep the eyes looking forwards. Keep going for 3, keep going longer. 2, last one, hold, bring everything back, sit back into your rest pose or your child's pose. Take a little moment here. Then you're going to bring yourself up onto your hands and knees for a moment. We're just going to bring ourselves into like a little cat stretch to release our lower back for anyone who's a little bit sore. So squeeze your legs together. You're going to scoop your pelvis under, round your spine, look down at your thighs. Then think about moving from your bum first. Can you sit your tailbone away from you? Think about a table being under your belly and you're trying not to drop into it. You're trying to go longer, like you're reaching along that table. And you should feel your chest is shining forwards, a bit like I'm fisting the front of your top and I'm pulling it forwards. Then scooping the pelvis under, leading from your lower back, letting the spine round, and see if you can try and get any more curve through the lower back. And then again, can you keep reaching the top of your head long, keep reaching the tailbone away, keep growing taller again, and then bring yourself back up. You're going to come up onto your hands and knees, squeeze the feet and knees together still. And I'd like you to keep pulling the back of your face away from the floor. Shoulders are heavy. And your arms, I'd love it if the crease of your arms can try and smile at each other rather than locking out. Okay? Then, in that position, the main thing is pull your face away from the floor. So show me your nose, show me your first 2 ribs, and then can you keep that feeling of your ribs just living in the back of your t-shirt? Can you then hover your knees nice and low? And then can you lower the knees back down? Hover the knees up, keeping them nice and low. Lower the knees back down. Ribs are softening into the back of your top. Ribs are shining slightly forwards. And I can see your nose. Go for 3 more. Pressing almost those heels back and down. Exhale, hover up. Inhale, lower down. Last time, keep pressing into that first finger knuckle and lower down and relax. Now, if you can, move onto your back from sitting cross-legged. And then we're going to take our knees into a bent position. We're going to then press our hands behind us and we're going to go into a little prep for rolling like a ball. So, hands are reaching behind. Now they're wider than my hips and the fingertips pointing forwards. I'm going to bring my heels into my bum and I want to bring my knees as close as I can into my chest. I'd like us to push into the hands and look into our belly button. Can you hold this position and see if you can then, keeping your head reaching to the ceiling, you're looking into your belly button, try not to let your head fall off your spine, keep it stacked. Can you bring your thighs any closer, your heels any closer? It feels so uncomfortable. Now, it's almost like a bit of a reverse press up. We lower, we then keep that shape, we come back up. You're a tall, long ball. You lower, you lift back up, and you're keeping everything in. You lower, lift. And I actually think this is harder than rolling like a ball. 2, Keep scooping everything in. It's teaching you the shape. Last one. Now hold. And then can we bring it so our hands come onto our shins? We're going to keep this shape, send our left leg forwards. I'd like you to see if you can roll down to laying on your back, keeping your right knee in. Can you curl up closer to your thigh? And think of this leg staying in line with the other foot. Don't take it all the way down. I'd like you to then draw so it feels like your thigh is pulling into your belly button and your waist is pulling back down into the basement. And switch. Inhale, pull. This leg is reaching in as the other leg reaches long. And switch. Good. And switch. Keep going. You're looking into your belly button and you're getting those elbows out. Good. And switch. So this is our one leg stretch. And from some of the documents that we've got from Joseph Pilates, he doesn't talk about this being necessarily an ab movement. He talks about this as a colonic cleanse. So as our knee comes in, it's going through our ascending colon and then descending colon. Last one. And then, relax. Let your head turn from side to side. Okay, bring your feet down to the floor. We're going to bring our arms down alongside us and your arms are pressing down into the mat. We're going to do a little prep for glute bridge or high bridge. So you're going to press into the arms, feet and knees squeezed together. And I'd like you to try and think of rolling through your spine, heeling up segment by segment, lifting up into that glute bridge. Arms pressed down into the floor. Now ideally we want to think bum higher than the ribs and your knees are going to squeeze together. You then melt your ribs down. You scoop down through your waist. Oh, I feel like my leg's going to cramp. Wonderful. And then come back down. You should feel as much pain as I am. So you're going to press down into your arms. I hate this one. I love teaching it, but I hate doing it. You roll up through the spine. Your knees are touching and they're squeezing. Oh, my legs are shaking. And then we melt back down. I wish you could literally see my legs are like jelly at the top. Okay, so as you're moving, if it's really awful in your lower back, don't go as high and see if you can scoop the pelvis under a little bit more. But if you feel okay, keep this feeling of your knees pulling forwards, heels pulling to you, arms pressing down. Squeeze the knees and then peel back down through your spine. And I'd like you to try and keep your chin off your chest. Can you go for 2 more? And as you're going up, you really want to keep that weight on your shoulders. It's right across the top of my shoulders at the moment. And then I'm rolling back down. And then this time we're going to peel back up. And we hold. We squeeze those knees. And then just to try and distract our brain slightly, which is complete lie because it's going to be awful anyway, can you lift your arms to the ceiling? Keep squeezing your knees. I literally can't sweep my little finger between your knees. Arms split. Arms split the other way. And maybe like close your eyes, find your happy place, say some words at me, call me names, but do not let those legs come apart from each other. Keep going. I'm literally calling myself names. I didn't have to include this. I'm in charge of my class plan. Okay, keep going. Oh, last one. And then lifting those arms up, pressing back into the mat, squeezing those legs together a little bit more, and melt back down through the spine. Then, as you come down, bring the knees back into your chest. Curl the head and chest back up, reaching the arms long. Rib cage stays nice and heavy. Weight pulls into the waistband. Can you stay there? Keep pulling the knees in. Can you let the arms reach back? Let the arms touch the mat. Now, as soon as your arms go back and you feel your body falling, your arms have gone too far. I want you to think, find the point before your arms feel really heavy. And for me, it's about here. Now, you are pulling your thighs into you. You're drawing your chest to your thighs. And you are just going to go for 2. Keep looking towards the belly button. Last one. Pull it back in. Relax back down. put your feet down onto the floor. Let your knees take a little twist from side to side. Then you're going to use the back of your legs to rock you up into a sitting position. And we're going to then just bring our legs so that they go towards the left-hand side of our mat. And we're going to go up and over into our mermaid stretch, because I realised we didn't do that earlier. Lifting your other arm up to the sky, holding onto your shin, and we're just going to take a big side bend over, because I won't sleep at night if I suddenly remember that we didn't have it. And as you do this, can you feel how your body wants to twist? I'd love if you can keep shining both sides of your chest to me. Then bring yourself back up. Bring yourself onto your hands and knees, and we're going to come down to lay on our front. Okay, so as we're laying on our front, we're going to do a little prep for swan dive. So our legs are towards each other, arms come into a V shape. And your hands are going to be, my thumbs are on my mat, my fingertips are off. I want to squeeze my elbows in. Now, keeping this, we're going to lift our face all the way up. Now, as we come up into extension, it usually becomes really uncomfortable on our back if we are coming up and our ribs are pressing forwards and our shoulders have dumped. And this looks kind of a little bit like Cobra from yoga, but it's called Swan Dive Prep in Pilates, but this would hurt my lower back in this position. So I really want you to think we're moving from your waist. So face looks forwards, and it's like my hand is on top of your head. I would like you to keep thinking, hands press into the mat and you are pulling your chest forwards. You're not going necessarily high, you're thinking, can you keep going longer? Can you keep going longer? Pushing into your hands. Can you keep going longer from your waist? Your hip bones have drawn away from the floor. Your ribs are in the back of your t-shirt. Then you keep growing longer and you pull yourself back down. You're going to then let the nose lower. Okay, now my triceps are working so hard here. When I do this properly, I can feel it for about 3 days in my triceps. So as we go again, remember you're in charge of how far you come, but you can absolutely do this. So face forwards first. It feels a bit wrong. Shoulders are heavy. You're going to press into your arms. You're going to use the strength of your arms to keep growing taller, keep going from your waist. Squeeze those elbows underneath you, keep growing tall. Your legs are reaching long, and then you keep growing taller and you pull yourself back down. So it's very different to the first exercise, or that first move I showed you, where my ribs were flexing forwards, okay? We do one more here and then we're out of it. So we come tip of the nose, face forwards, elbows pull in, shoulders are heavy, squeeze the back of your legs. Keep growing taller, keep growing taller, keep going longer. Can you maybe come up an inch and see how much more confidence I've gained there as I've done each one? I'm going to pull myself taller and come back down. Then bring myself back up, sit into a child's pose, and then bring myself up onto my hands and knees. Tuck my toes under. Can you then roll yourself like your waist wants to pull to the floor, up into standing. Now roll down is a magical move when it becomes less just about touching our toes. So I'd like you to lift your arms up and imagine your body is against a wall. Let your head drop down and look at your feet. Can you then keep this feeling of your ribs softening into the back of your t-shirts? But then can you draw those ribs up the wall like you're inflating under your ribs? So your ribs are drawing to the back of your t-shirt and up inside you. Your bum, rather than it pointing behind you, I want you to think of it pointing under you. So you're scooping the pelvis under. Then keep this feeling of being inflated up, your pelvis scooping under, and you get this lovely stretch through your spine. Your arms are reaching forwards, and you're going to start to curl through your spine, rolling segment by segment. Now, as I'm rolling down, you want to keep the feeling of your thighs being pulled forwards. And as you're going, you're going to keep that feeling of your bum being pulled off the wall. I do not care if you can touch your toes. Great for you if you can. Doesn't matter. Now, can you stay there and keep your bum scooping under first? This feeling of your thighs being pulled forwards, your ribs inflating up and back, and then you grow tall. Take a nice deep breath in, shoulders shrug up, breath out, relax. Well done. You did so well. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed the class, please leave a comment, like it, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram and message me. I love connecting with you. But otherwise, have a great day.